AEW Revolution is in the books, and the road to WrestleMania gets clearer every day. A lot to talk about on this edition of the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it. The bomb drops now.
All of you friendly, nice, amazing.
Oh, hi everyone. We love you so much.
This is the best.
This is TSF.
Was it real?
100 not.
Oh my god.
And you're listening to the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast, baby.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast, a show that is for the fans, by the fans. Thank you, TSF, for that intro. Mr. Andy York is with me as always. My name is Chris Belcher. Thanks for hanging out with us. Andy, how are we, man?
It was a fun week of wrestling.
Wasn't it?
So I am thrilled. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about this week because, Revolution decided to be crazy.
Sure.
And really good. And then, Monday Night Raw was one of the best Raws of the year so far. So it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about both of those.
Fantastic Monday Night Raw. It was so good. Before we go any further, though, special shout out to our boy Rosario Grillo for being on the show last week. If you missed it, go check it out. It's available in our archives wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Google, Spreaker, iHeart, all those places. Go check it out. But also the video version is available on the BodySlam.net YouTube channel. Make sure you check out that episode. What a fun time we had with him. If you like Cody Rhodes, you want to hear some behind the scenes stories about Cody Rhodes, go check that episode out. A lot of fun. Speaking of Rosario Grillo, social media, just to give you guys a glimpse. So you're like, who is Rosario Grillo? I'm listening, so I don't know who this guy is. One half of TSF, our favorite indie tag team. Also a trainee at the Nightmare Factory. And who stopped by the Nightmare Factory this week? John Cena.
Yep.
So, Nightmare Factory, owned and operated by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall. So, you guys think we're just bringing on whomever. Go check it out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. We don't just bring on people to bring on people.
Yeah.
Although if they want to come on, we're not going to tell them no, right? But Grillo's our boy. We appreciate Grillo coming and hanging out with us very much. All right, let's get down to it. Make sure, again, that you're following us wherever you find your podcast. Make sure you're supporting SportsWire Radio and make sure that you are subscribed to BodySlam.net YouTube channel. My goodness, why is that hard to say today?
It just is.
First thing we're going to get to is our old school of the week, our old school 101. Andy, it's WrestleMania season, and one of them falls on an anniversary this coming week.
Yep, so we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 20. So this is the 19th anniversary. Technically, the 18th anniversary.
Technically, yes.
Unless you want to do the WWE logic when the 25th WrestleMania is the 25th anniversary. It's not. It's the 24th, but that's fine. This is the 20th, WrestleMania 20. Might be, looking back at it, one of the most controversial WrestleManias of all time.
That's true. That's true.
Obviously, with the main event, how it ended, nobody could foresee what was going to happen in the future. But also one of the most hated WrestleMania matches of all time, involving three of the industry's biggest names of all time, which is crazy that that's a thing,
isn't it?
That's happened. Which I think is where I want to start, because that's the most interesting match, I think, of this card is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg with Stone Cold Steve Austin, special guest referee. Obviously, going into WrestleMania, there were a lot of reports that Goldberg was going to be done with WWE after this match.
Yep.
And then, the week of WrestleMania, it got leaked that Brock Lesnar was also done with WWE after this match.
Yep.
So nobody cared about this match going into it. Fans literally booed it for the entire match.
They did. That's true.
Even Stone Cold didn't get over in this match. It's the Rock Rumble 2015 all over. This is the start of that.
Well, if you look back at it, it's almost like WWE knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They knew this was Goldberg's last thing, so they wanted to throw, I don't even think it was as much that they wanted to throw Austin in to put these three in the ring at the same time. They tried to get Austin to save the thing.
Right.
And like you said, Austin couldn't even save it.
No.
It was insane. So if you go back and you watch, I don't remember which documentary it is about Goldberg where they address this.
Yeah.
Is it his biography they did on A&E?
I think it's his biography.
Maybe. Anyway, he addresses this and he talks about it. And he's talked about it on several podcasts and stuff. But that's one of the reasons he came back and that Brock was his first opponent in 2016. 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2016.
Supposed to right that wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they did that. They didn't make us forget about it, but they certainly righted the wrong.
Yeah, they did. I think, there were a lot of casualties along the way to get to that end, which is very unfortunate. But, it was what it was. It was the build. That whole thing was a lot better than what we got here at WrestleMania 20.
Sure.
Their match at WrestleMania 30, was it 33 in Orlando?
Yep.
Was really good. Like for a Goldberg match in 2016, it was fun. Sure. It was really fun. And I don't think anybody's ever going to forget that Survivor Series match with Brock getting squashed by Goldberg.
Nobody ever.
That was the craziest thing. Still to this day that I think I've seen live was the reaction that people had to that.
It's one of the most shocking moments I think in WWE history because Brock was on such a tear then.
He coming off of the WrestleMania, defeating the Undertaker streak, squashing John Cena at SummerSlam,
squashing Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
all of that
on a streak, and then boom. But I will say this about Brock. Brock's a business guy. Mm-hmm. That was the best thing for that business, for that feud, was that happening. Yep. Also in this show, you had a technical dream match of all dream matches with Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
One of WrestleMania's best matches. It's absolutely amazing.
For sure it is.
You had the main event, the triple threat between Benoit, Triple H, and...
Listen, Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. I blinked for a second. Thank you.
That is one of my favorite WrestleMania matches ever.
Yeah.
People can say what they want about Benoit and watching his matches or not watching his matches.
Yeah.
That is one of the best WrestleMania main events ever.
Yeah.
Hands down, bar none, and we're never going to talk about it.
No.
It's just fantastic.
It's fantastic.
I get it.
For obvious reasons, we're not going to talk about it, but one of the best triple threats in WWE history. Yep. One of the best WrestleMania matches in WWE.
I tell you what, man, I look back at WrestleMania 20 so fondly because unlike a lot of people, I think this was a great WrestleMania. Yeah. I think it's really underrated because you talk about triple threat, talk about Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero.
Yep.
You talk about Brock and Goldberg.
Yep.
Let's talk about The Undertaker returning as the dead man for the first time, taking on Kane. Let's talk about The Rock and Mick Foley versus Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. Let's talk about John Cena beating The Big Show for the U.S. title in the first match of the night. Crowning moment of John Cena. All of these great things happen on this show. And it just, I don't think it gets enough love. I really don't.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look back on it not fondly because of the Goldberg Brock
and
situation and because of Benoit.
Yeah.
I think those are the two things that definitely make it glaring. Mm-hmm. But I agree, it's definitely an underrated WrestleMania. It's a lot of fun. WrestleMania is one of those shows that not every match is going to be match of the year caliber.
Sure.
But you got to have your fun in there. And this was right around the time where the streak was starting to become a thing.
Yep.
And it was a lot of fun. WrestleMania 20 was.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff happening at WrestleMania 20. I remember getting the DVD set of WrestleMania 20, and it came with one of the bonus features was a documentary behind the scenes of WrestleMania 19. Mm-hmm. So it was very much like a WWE 24 episode about WrestleMania 19. Yeah. And that was the first time we got a behind the scenes look at Steve Austin and what he went through that weekend leading up to his last match. How he got rushed to the hospital and all this other stuff. So those types of things have always fascinated me, but that's one of the things I looked fondly on with this show is having that DVD set and just, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great. Ruthless Aggression era, I'm not shy about saying is my favorite era. So this was right at the heart of it. So I'm a huge fan.
Yep.
I was a big fan of it. All right. More WrestleMania content obviously coming your way over the next several weeks. Andy and I will load up the week of WrestleMania with shows, which it's not, you shake your head. And I was thinking about this. It's not going to be that bad.
No.
Because we've decided, peek behind the curtain, we've already told you that the PBWF Season 2 draft is going to drop that week.
Yep.
So that's going to drop on the normal Tuesday that the PBWF shows drop. Well, then we're going to preview Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania separately.
Yep.
So on Thursday of WrestleMania week, you're going to get a preview of Night 1. On Friday of WrestleMania week, you're going to get a preview of Night 2. And then sometime on Saturday night / Sunday morning, you're going to get a recap of Night 1. And then sometime on Sunday night / Monday morning, you're going to recap of Night 2.
Yeah.
So those are those things, but then we always like to do a list or two, and then we like to do a watch along. So that's going to fill up the other 2 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be bad. Plus, I'm not putting this out there because it's a definite. There's a chance that there might be live reactions.
Okay.
For WrestleMania from myself. Obviously, someone will be in the building.
Yes.
For both nights.
I'll be there.
But
I'll try to get some live reactions too. Okay. Let me just throw that out there.
I will not be there, so I will do live reactions from my house. I may also have my wife because she's going to be watching it with me. We may do live reactions together or something like that.
That'll be great.
But it's going to be a lot of fun, though. WrestleMania week, look, it's a busy week, but it's the Super Bowl week of wrestling, and I look forward to it every year. Even a bad WrestleMania card is still fun because it's WrestleMania. So you never know what you're going to get. And this is Triple H's first WrestleMania. Yep. Just like SummerSlam we were there for. Fantastic show. Yep. I'm expecting nothing less.
I am too, definitely, which leads me to my next point. We are going to segue into something new that we're going to try to start doing on the show each and every week, and that is the Pipe Bomb of the Week. We are called the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast for a reason. This is our Pipe Bomb of the Week, our biggest hot take of this week, whatever we want. Doesn't have to be WWE, doesn't have to be AEW, whatever we want, whatever we're thinking about, whatever's boiling on us. And the reason this came about is it was either last week or a week before last. I can't remember which show it was. But we were talking about Cody winning the world title, and I said that Austin Theory could be the person to take the title off of Cody in a month.
Yeah.
And you
were physically ill.
Physically were ill and told me what a hot take that I had. So that got me thinking. It's like, well, we should do hot takes every week. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure that everybody is aware of what we think. Yep. And we're going to do that by putting 25 seconds on the clock, no interruptions. You give your hot take. I'll let you simmer in it. I'll give mine and we'll call it a day. So 25 seconds on the clock to deliver our pipe bombs. I will go first.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will go first. My hot take this week is that the Triple H regime is absolutely changing things up in WrestleMania season. And what I mean by that is we are seeing more obvious builds than we have seen in the past. We know what we're getting. We have time to get excited about what we're getting about WrestleMania. And that's the way that it should be, not getting surprised the day or the week of or whatever. Triple H regime in full swing. WrestleMania season. I like it.
I like it. Like, I think it's fantastic that we're getting that and that, yes, you always want surprises on your big show, but also like hype up your matches that you're going to have.
Yes.
Because I want to get excited about the main event of WrestleMania. And this is the first time in a long time I'm actually excited for the main event of WrestleMania. Yep. So that's great.
All right, Andy, 25 seconds on the clock. Here we go.
So my pipe bomb of the week is something I've been talking about for some time now, and I'm just going to keep bringing it up because it keeps happening. Disqualification finishes do not need to be the end-all, be-all all the time. I am sick and tired on AEW and WWE of giving either disqualification finishes, interference finishes. We saw QT Marshall cost Wardlow the TNT Championship, which was very annoying. We've seen Finn Balor interfere in every single match on Raw. I'm sick of it.
Don't listen to the PBWF then. Just a little preview. Especially my show. There's some DQ finishes there. I like DQ finishes, but I don't think they're necessary all the time. Yeah, I agree with your point. Too much is too much. Yeah. I think it's necessary every now and then, but I think you're right. I think it's being overused a whole lot recently. Yeah. All right. That's a fun little segment. Make sure that you weigh in and let us know what you think about our pipe bombs.
I'm sure around WrestleMania time, this is going to get crazier. These hot takes are going to be wild.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be good. Something else that is good, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're checking out our friends over at WrestleBuddy, the website that Andy and I contribute written pieces to. WrestleMania season around the corner. Going to see some new stuff from us for sure. So check out WrestleBuddy. Tyler and Alex and all the crew over there do a fantastic job. So make sure that you're supporting them. They are great to support us and to promote our stuff. We appreciate it very much. Let's move on, man. Let's talk about AEW Revolution. Before we get there, though, we normally do our scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. We did not do that on the show last week because Grillo was on the show, and we don't want to bore him with the scorecards and all this stuff. No, not bore him, but we want to make sure to take enough time to talk to our special guest. But Andy and I did fill out our scorecards. It's right here. We filled it out ahead of time before the event. There was no cheating that happened. We're going to go over these real quick. MJF and Bryan Danielson, we may as well start with the main event.
Look, let me just put this out there really quick. It was a rough night for me on this scorecard. I got all of the matches right, winners right, except for 2.
Okay.
Everything else, though, was terrible. It was terrible.
I will say that I had a fantastic night on the scorecard. I didn't point-wise do as well as I would have liked, but I did pick all the winners.
Yep.
So, MJF and Bryan Danielson, I had 21 total points in this category. I had MJF winning. I had the pinfall being the first pin type. I had an exact guess of the time of the last fall, 65 minutes.
Yep.
4 rope breaks in the match, an exact guess there as well, which gives me 2 extra points on each, and the match going to sudden death.
Yep. I got 5 points, which means I just got the winner right, which was MJF. Yep. I didn't think it was going to sudden death. I almost had the number of falls right. I had 5 falls. It was 7. But other than that, it was a disaster. So,
all right, let's move over to one that was the least amount. Yeah, least amount for me. The only category that I got single-digit points in, and that's Samoa Joe and Wardlow. I got Wardlow correct as the winner, and the most near falls, I picked Ty. That's the only things that I got.
Yeah,
I got a total of 8 points.
I got a total of 0 points on this one. I did not. I picked Samoa Joe to win, which obviously did not happen. And it was not a good night.
That's fun.
It's just, the precedent.
A lot of fun. That's the only one I got single digits on. So if you're calculating at home, you can figure out who's going to win this.
Yeah, it's not a pretty score, I can tell you that.
Texas Death Match, Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. I came out of this one with 14 points out of 25.
Yep.
Hangman winning, Hangman down for the first 3 count. Wrestler bleeding in the match. That was an easy one. And the Dark Order interfering. I said they would not. So those are the categories I got right.
I got 14 for this one as well. I had Hangman winning. I did not have him down for the first 3, but he was down for the first 6, which is what I had marked as well.
Yep.
Wrestler bleeding, obviously, and the Dark Order interference.
I was very upset about the fall type on this. It gives you the option for the 10 count and a submission and the other. So, I get it. I don't want to say it was misleading, but it was, I don't know, it was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Not Pro Wrestling Scorecard's fault. It's just kind of
I wouldn't have picked submission anyway because there was no way I thought either one of these guys were going to tap.
That's a good point.
It happens.
It happened. That's true. All right. Women's World Championship Triple Threat match. I came out with 17 points in this one. I got Jamie Hayter winning by pinning Ruby Soho and uninterrupted pins. The number was 4.5, and I picked the under, which was correct.
I had 14 for this one as well. I had Hayter winning. I had the fall type, which was pin. Who took the fall? Was it Ruby?
Ruby.
Okay, so I got that one right as well. And then the under on interrupted pins.
So we got the same ones on that. So 17 points for you on that one. So you got 3 more than you thought.
Oh, I did. Oh, well, it totally changes the score. Not really.
All right. Tag team title, Fatal 4-Way, Guns, Acclaimed, Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Orangehausen. I got
Orangehausen. That's a great name.
I got 14 points out of a potential 30 in this one. I got the Guns winning by pin and Austin making the fall. And I didn't get anything else in this category.
So I got 9 points for this one. I did not get the winners right, but I did get the pin type, or fall type, which was pin. I believe I got the aerial right.
Okay.
I got the interrupted pins right.
Okay.
And I got Billy not turning on the Acclaim.
I gotcha. Oh, I did get the aerial right on this. Wait a minute. 5, 8, 11. Yeah, 14. I got the aerial right.
Yep.
I got 5. That wasn't the exact number, but I got 5, and it's a plus or minus 1.
Yeah.
All right. Elite and House of Black Trios Championship. I got 20 points out of a possible 30 in this one. House of Black winning by pin. Malachi pinning Matt Jackson. Under 1.5 one-winged angels and 9 aerial moves. Got all of those categories correct.
Were there 8 aerial moves? I
think there were 8. I'm not sure.
Okay, I thought so. I think so because I got 14 points for this. I got House of Black. I got the pinfall right. I got Malachi making the pin. I had Nick taking the pin, which was wrong. I had said no on Hart attacking Cutler, which did not happen, and I had 7 aerial moves.
And you got it right. Okay, so it was 8 then. The aerial was 8.
Yeah,
got it. I just thought Julia Hart attacking Brandon Cutler would be fun.
It would be, but it didn't happen.
Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. I got 11 points out of a possible 22 in this one. Ricky Starks winning by pin and no JAS interference, which they were banned from ringside. So technically, that was an easy one.
Yep, I got 11 as well. And
same
thing.
All right. Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Now this one, fall type. What did you put on fall type?
I had pin.
Okay.
So I think they changed it.
They did. So I just like...
it doesn't count either way.
Yeah, if you would have picked... Well...
If you'd have picked other...
I did pick other, honnly. Like you can see I have it circled here, but I just marked it out because they changed the whole match.
Yeah.
So... all that to say, for clarification, when we printed this off, it still has no holds barred, not the final death or breath or whatever it was. Anyway, Jungle Boy getting the win.
Yep.
Under aerial moves and Christian Cage taking the concerto.
Yep. I had 14 points for this as well because I had the same thing.
Got it.
So,
all right. So my total, if you're keeping track at home, 116.
Yeah, mine was 184. Or not 184, 84. I'm sorry.
I was going to say 184 out of potential 208. Like, geez.
I did great. I just lied about everything.
You just lied. Good stuff. A lot of fun. We love Pro Wrestling Scorecards. Check them out at PW Scorecards all over social media. It's a lot of fun. We are going to do Pro Wrestling Scorecards for WrestleMania both nights. It's going to be a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. Love those guys. We'll get to WrestleMania in just a minute and WWE stuff. Let's talk about Revolution, man. You see behind us MJF coming out with the sudden death victory over Bryan Danielson. This match received, 5 3/4 stars or something like that? Speaking of stars, I loved MJF getting in the microphone or in the camera and saying, "Oh no, this is going to cost me a star, Dave." So good. I love it so much.
And then him getting in Dave's face after in the press conference and the media.
I missed that.
It was great. Yeah,
that's amazing.
That was great.
That's so good. I said on the podcast last week that I was sort of not looking forward to this match because we knew MJF was going to win, but you knew Bryan was going to pull a great match out of him. But at the same time, it's like I was worried about being entertained for 60 minutes after a full pay-per-view.
Yeah.
They kept me entertained for the most part. There were only a couple of times that I kind of zoned out or whatever. But the pace at which this match went was insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I was worried about the same thing too, because when we started off the night with Jericho versus Starks, I was like, okay, then the main event obviously is the Iron Man match, which I was a little nervous for. I was entertained the whole time. I think they did a fantastic job of pacing this match, of MJF doing his thing, Danielson making his offense, but then MJF rolling out of the ring to get water and stuff like that. Like, I think they did that very, very well. Thought the pace of this match was fantastic. I loved this match so much. This is right up there with Omega and Ospreay for me.
Really? For
match of the year. I think this is going to be really hard to beat.
Oh, I definitely think this is match of the year right now. For sure.
This was better than I thought it was going to be. And I already thought this was going to be really good because obviously Bryan Danielson's the best wrestler in the world.
Sure.
MJF is a really, really, really good wrestler. Proved it in this match even more so. He kept up with Danielson, which is not always easy to do. And I don't feel like Danielson had to slow down for MJF.
I agree.
Like, I think they both did their thing really, really well. And I think the finish of this match was brilliant.
I hated the oxygen tank thing. Like, I thought that was dumb. Like, I'm not mad that he used it.
Yeah.
What I'm mad about is that the referee supposedly didn't see it.
Yeah, I think the way they shot it, though, I mean...
Yeah, the way they shot it, but, like, if you're thinking, like, in reality...
Yeah.
You know, like, the way they shot it, of course, you can't see the referee, so the referee doesn't see it.
Right.
And I know you're supposed to just suspend your belief when it comes to wrestling.
Right.
But that was just a little too much for me.
It didn't bother me. It didn't take it out. It didn't, like, deflate the match or anything for me. I thought
I agree.
Or the finish. I thought it was fantastic. I did not expect Danielson a tap. I thought that was was I mean, but it makes sense. He was in the match for how long was the match? It was 65 minutes. Mm-hmm. If I'm 65 minutes in, I get put in this move for like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm probably gonna tap out too. Sure. I'm gonna be tired. So I thought it made sense. But I really, really enjoyed this match.
Were there any false finishes that really got you in overtime?
Yes, there were a couple.
Brian's Psycho knee is the one that got me.
I thought it was it, and when he put it in the cover, I was like, "We're done with the MJF experiment because Danielson's taking this." That's the one that was solid. And what I really love about this is they didn't do the time limit in between falls. Like as soon as the fall was done, you keep moving. And MJF was the only smart wrestler in the world because he pinned him. Pinned him again, got 2 falls out of it. It's like, yeah, that makes sense because of course he would be down for that long.
Right.
So like I think that was really, really smart how they did that.
Yep, I agree. I was a fan of the execution of this match. I do think it's match of the year. I'm gonna be in the minority here. Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise. I don't think this is the best Iron Man match of all time. I think this is right up there.
Yeah.
I think it's probably number 3. In the best Iron Man matches of all time.
So you have Brett Shawn.
Brett Shawn's 1.
Yeah.
Because sorry for you people that don't think that match holds up.
Yeah.
Nothing will be better than the original. Sorry.
Yeah.
2, Triple H Rock from Judgment Day. I think it's 01. Fantastic match.
That one's really good too. I think this one obviously. I think this one's the best one of the modern era. By far. It's
been the best one in a long time. Okay, remind me of this one. See if you can remember this one off the top of your head.
Yeah.
John Cena and Randy Orton had a no-holds-barred Iron Man match at one point. It was bad?
It was the peak Cena wins lull.
Sure.
And it was just...
I knew it was during that time.
And it was like the 15th match that those two had that year, I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
It was a long way. It was okay. It was fine. But it was nothing like this. This was. I think this one's the best one in the modern era. I haven't watched Shawn and Brett in a long time. That one's a little slow for me.
It is slow,
but I get I get why it's so good, and I think it's good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's how can you not have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart wrestle for an hour and it not be good?
Yep. I'm also biased.
That's true. You are a Shawn fan.
I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
This one's probably my favorite Iron Man match of all time.
Sure.
Is it the best? I think it's up for debate.
Sure.
I could probably say it is, but I think this one's going to be very hard to beat for match of the year. In any promotion, I think this is going to be hard to beat.
Good luck.
Because I think what made this so good though is the story in the match. Like the storytelling in this match was really good too. Yep. So like everything about it worked so well together. And the crowd was hot for it the entire time.
They were.
They sat through a 4-hour pay-per-view, got to this last little bit, and did not fault at all. Yep. So it's going to be hard to beat.
You're absolutely right, and it's interesting because I'm about to do something that I don't normally do on this show, but I'll tell you right now. Go ahead and mark it down. Put your timestamp on it. Do whatever. There is not a match on WrestleMania that'll be better than this.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Cody and Roman's got a shot. I think Bianca Asuka's got a shot.
Yeah.
And I think Seth and Logan Paul have a shot.
Yeah. I think what makes this so good is the expectation for this was already so high.
Yep.
And they blew
delivered.
It. Like they did better than expected.
Yep.
I think Roman Cody, the expectations are high.
And they will deliver on those expectations. But will it be better than this?
And I love Roman Reigns. Wow, I can't believe I said that. There were years I hated Roman. You know those years where I hated Roman.
I know.
But this Roman Reigns is different than any other Roman Reigns you ever got. But Roman matches at WrestleMania are not always good. They're not.
You're right.
So...
But he also delivers in some crazy spots, too.
He does.
You know what I mean?
He does. And like this is not a Vince McMahon WrestleMania.
That Logan Paul match was fantastic.
Yeah. So, but I think part of that also is like our expectations for Logan are kind of bare minimum.
Well, that's
and he delivers.
Listen, I'm not saying
but I agree.
I'm not saying that it can't be better than this. I'm just predicting that it won't be.
No, I don't think there's anything on WrestleMania that will beat this.
No, I don't either.
I don't think there's anything in AEW this year that'll beat this. Maybe Kenny and Cole.
I was getting ready to say that's probably the one.
That's the only one that I could see that could beat this, but it would have to be like
flawless
for it to beat this.
Look who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think WWE's got some work to do going to SummerSlam if they want to try to beat this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's possible.
A Cody Kevin could beat this.
Yes.
Possibly.
I agree.
Possibly. But again, flawless. It would have to be flawless to beat this.
I'm sitting here giving
Which is crazy because the death match was on the same show, which we both said would be my favorite match of the night. It was my second favorite match of the night because this was so good.
Let's talk about the death match. I know we're not talking about it in that order, but let's talk about the death match. Hangman Adam Page defeating Jon Moxley by tap out.
Yeah.
What in the world?
But it wasn't just like a submission move. He literally choked him with a chain, so it makes sense. It makes sense. Look, we were expecting this match to be brutal and violent.
Ugh.
I don't think we were expecting it to be this level of brutality and violence.
It's insane.
It was insane.
It was one of the most brutal matches. Probably, no, not one of. It was the most brutal match I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And I've watched a couple of death matches. I'm not a huge death match guy, but I've watched a couple.
There are a couple New Jack matches that are
hard to watch.
hard to watch, but
that's true. The one where he faces, what's the dude that he just went crazy on?
Yeah.
Taxi, something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'll say this. I understand why some people don't like this match.
I don't like this match.
Yeah, I understand why.
Yep.
But for a fan of Jon Moxley and a fan of Page and a fan of this style,
they delivered.
They over delivered on this, and it was absolutely fantastic. I think that's part of a Texas death match is I don't think you're supposed to like this match.
Right. I agree. I agree.
I don't think you're supposed to be a fan of this match. Now, the storytelling in it was great. I think the callback to the lariat that took Page out for a little bit was a good callback.
Yep.
The fork was 10 times worse than the pizza cutter, which is saying something.
Yes, fork was horrible.
We didn't get broken glass.
I'm very surprised.
We didn't get thumbtacks.
Didn't get light tubes.
You didn't need it though.
No, you're right.
What you got was brutal. The barbed wire, Paige's hair getting caught in the barbed wire.
That was
should
disgusting.
prove because like I saw a lot of people were like the barbed wire is probably not even like sharp, whatever. His hair got caught. Like it's sharp. It's pretty sharp unless he cut it, put it in there, which I highly doubt he did.
No, that didn't happen.
So I get why people don't like this match. I love this match. I thought it was over delivered on everything I was expecting.
Speaking of brutality, not necessarily smart brutality, but stupid brutality. Have you seen the clip that went viral this week ahead of this match? So it was an indie show. Like this small, like VFW or whatever, of a hardcore match. Okay.
Yeah.
And they were in the ring fighting, but on the outside, like all the crowd had moved to the side. And they had some chairs set up out here.
I think I've seen this, yeah.
And the guy's doing a press slam in the ring. The referee sets the guy on fire.
Yeah.
And he hurls him across the room.
Yeah.
And he overshoots the chairs.
Big time.
And then you have like 3 people come to try to put out the fire. What the heck was the point of that?
There's no point to that. I think that's
stupid.
just to get a reaction. Because you also had the 2 ladies that were fighting in the balcony. I don't know if you saw this. 2 ladies that were fighting in the balcony. So think of the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yep.
Fighting in the balcony. That was like Taya Valkyrie and balcony put together. I don't know what that was. And one girl shoves the other girl off the balcony, and she goes face first on the ring apron.
I did see that. I did see that one. Yes, I did see that.
I don't think she was hurt. I think I think they did that spot really well. But like that could have gone south really quickly.
Yep. Could have been really bad. There's a lot of stupid brutality.
Yes.
And I'm not saying this is stupid brutality.
Yeah.
But it's not my cup of tea.
No, and I think that's the point of it. Is like it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Like Iron Man matches aren't everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
And
friggin' we've been talking about this all the time, about Jon Moxley taking a dang vacation. He showed up on Dynamite again this week. He's already advertised for next week. Yeah. This was the perfect way for him to just go away for a bit.
I don't think he wants a vacation. I think he just wants to keep going, which if he wants to keep going, I'm not going to complain. Like, I'm happy Moxley. That's the thing about Moxley is like, I'm waiting for the day when fans get tired of him because he's there so much. And it's just not happening. Like, it is not happening. I'm not
saying that I think he needs to go away for those things.
No,
bro just needs to.
He needs a breather.
He does.
He needs a breather.
He for sure does. All right, let's keep going on this card. Women's championship match, triple threat. Jamie Hayter getting the win. Ruby turning was fantastic.
Yep.
I loved every minute of it.
Yep. And then her
So
promo on
good.
Dynamite. I'm not usually like a you people promo
Right.
after a heel turn, but she made it make sense, and I'm all for it. This is the Ruby we should have gotten WWE. This is the Ruby heel turn we should have gotten WWE.
Well, yeah, Ruby was, she was a heel in WWE, but
She
it
was
wasn't
just
like this.
Yeah, a generic heel, basically.
Right.
I'm excited for this. I think this is a character change she needs.
Yep, I agree.
And I think it makes her a threat for the title. Like, it instantly makes her another threat for the title. Obviously, she was, but it makes her another threat for the title. I'm interested to see if she actually aligns herself with Tony and Saraya and for how long. She may turn on both of them at some point, too.
I think it's just for this blood and guts match that
Probably.
we're headed towards.
Probably, which it's going to be fun. Like, Ruby Soho is a brutal wrestler, too, so it's going to be very interesting. Plus, we saw what Britt Baker can do in a lights out match, which that one was a rough one, too.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But, yeah, it was about time. I know we talked about this match not needing a heel turn, which I don't think it necessarily needed it.
But it worked.
And it worked really well.
Yep, they certainly did it well. I agree. I thought the match was good, too. I mean, Jamie Hayter, again, proving why she's a great wrestler. And, we thought Saraya might be the one to somehow pull this off.
She
but
wasn't.
Nonetheless, it worked out the way that it should have. All right. Speaking of things working out the way that they should have, House of Black getting the Trios Championship match win over the Elite.
Oh, this match was fantastic, too.
Wasn't a squash like we talked about last week, though.
No. But I'm glad it wasn't, because what we got was...
Yep.
Look, when this match happened, I was like, I don't know how anything else on this show is going to beat this. And then the death match happened, and then the main event happened. I was like, oh, wow, I completely forgot this even happened, because the other two were so good.
I know.
The end spot of this match is ridiculous. Yep. They're going for the Meltzer driver. Buddy hits a vicious knee on Nick. I mean, a vicious knee.
You talk about, in reference to timing those things out.
Yeah.
You think Adam Cole and Ricochet, moonsault, super kick timing and all that.
Like, that's a timing that works. And then you think of, who was it? He was a producer. He was a part of J&J Security.
Joey Mercury.
Joey Mercury taking the ladder spot from Jeff Hardy, and his nose is crushed. Like, timing is very important in wrestling.
Yes, it is.
They nailed that timing perfectly.
Sure did.
The black mass after that was ridiculous. The best sell I've ever seen of a black mass, though, was Kenny Omega. And this, where he does the splits and falls face first. And, like, this, everything about this was great. I'm so glad they finally got their moment.
Yep.
I'm hoping that this can continue. Like, I'm hoping that this momentum can continue, and that I would love Malachi Black to be in the world title picture at some point.
Yeah.
Like, I think we could build to that.
Speaking of world title picture, it seemed like on social media that Don Callis and Kenny Omega are back on track to get back in the singles division. And
fine with me.
Fine with me, too.
Let it happen. Please.
Let's do it.
Put the Bucks back in the tag division, put Kenny back in the main event division, basically, and let's keep running.
While they still have time on their AEW contracts, because they're headed to WWE, folks. I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
It might happen.
It might happen. I think Kenny's more likely than the Bucks.
I agree with that.
I don't think there's a chance the Bucks ever leave AEW.
I think there's a chance.
But I'll say this: there's a chance, but it'll have to be like the last days of WCW dying days for the Bucks to leave. I think they're that loyal to what they've started.
Interesting take. I got you. Okay. Speaking of the tag team division, we saw the Guns retaining the titles. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Orangehausen, and the Acclaimed.
Yep.
But that's not the big thing in this match. The match was secondary to the return of FTR.
Oh, I'm so glad they're back. I'm so glad they're back.
Seems like everybody is pointing towards, and even Dax alluded to, that they're back. They're not going anywhere. Everything was part of a story. Yeah. Which I thought as well when AEW didn't recognize them as winning the Wrestler Observer Newsletter Awards. Right. When that was the only thing that AEW left off. Yeah. That's a for sure sign to me that it's part of the story. Yeah. But I still am not sold that they've signed a long-term deal with AEW and that they're back for good.
I don't think so. Not that I don't think so, but I think there's a great chance that they're not back for good.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that they are there to take the titles off the Guns.
I think they're there to put over the Guns.
See, I thought about that too, that they've tried that once already, and we see how well that worked. It's not worked. I think they're there. I think honestly, I think they are there to take the titles from the Guns, and then we head to another FTR Young Bucks, whatever the 3. I think this would be 3. And the Bucks take the titles from them.
Interesting.
Because you could easily have a very quick heel run from the Bucks against FTR.
Yeah, you could. I agree with that, but I also think you mentioned that they've done this before, but FTR now coming back in the way that they have come back, and they've never been this popular before. Like this is the height of FTR. So now if they go in and make the Guns look really good on their way out, and have the Guns retain, like I don't know. You're trying to put over the young talent.
I really do, because like this whole show they put over young talent.
They sure did.
Like they put over Jamie Hayter, they put over Wardlow, the Guns, MJF.
It's all homegrown talent that
Jungle Boy
literally won every single match.
Starks, like every single match was won by homegrown talent, which is the purpose of these pay-per-views is to do that. But I don't think that's going to be the case for the Guns for this one.
Okay.
I really don't. I think the Guns won just to get this moment between FTR and the Guns.
Okay.
FTR gets their win back on the Guns, and then honestly, like if you know you have them for a short time, why would you not run Young Bucks versus FTR 3?
Sure. I mean, I think so too, especially if this is the last time that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If FTR is not back, like you said. Samoa Joe and Wardlow quick match. What would you think of the finish?
It's fine.
I didn't like it.
It was okay.
I didn't think Joe should have been choked out. I don't like that.
I think it makes just Wardlow look strong. Like I think it makes Wardlow look like a beast. But my problem is what happens on Dynamite with QT Marshall costing Wardlow. Like all of that to me doesn't make sense.
The whole thing just with Powerhouse Hobbs.
The match was great between Hobbs and Wardlow. Like the match was really good.
Yep.
But I forget who it was. I think it was Kenny McIntosh, who was like a part of Inside the Ropes and all this. Yep. I think he said it, maybe, that QT Marshall coming back and doing that was like a Baron Corbin thing in WWE. I'm like, man, I really don't want to see that.
Right.
Like, and I don't hate, I know a lot of people don't like QT. He's not everybody's cup of tea. Baron Corbin's not everybody's cup of tea. But I don't need him. If you want Wardlow losing, that's why I didn't want Joe to lose the title, is I think Powerhouse Hobbs beating Joe after he just beat Wardlow does a lot more than having QT Marshall help Wardlow lose, or helping Hobbs beat Wardlow.
I get that they're trying to separate. Now, we're seeing some separation of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
We saw that with Eddie Kingston and that whole situation. We're seeing that. So I get wanting to move Joe to Ring of Honor full-time and take that title off of him. But you could have just somehow inserted Powerhouse Hobbs and made it a triple threat match and have Hobbs win the title there.
Yeah.
Instead of, because now what do you do with Wardlow? Well, you can make the argument that he's the next challenger for MJF for the world title.
Yeah.
Maybe we right that wrong that, happened at Double or Nothing or whatever. Right. But now Wardlow doesn't look as strong going into that match. So.
And he has unfinished business with Hobbs.
Exactly.
So like that's what makes me think we're not heading towards Hobbs or Wardlow and MJF.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think so either. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but I think if you want Wardlow, because obviously Wardlow's not going to be TNT champion when he goes after MJF.
Right.
So obviously he's probably not going to win this feud with Hobbs.
Right.
But it's not going to make him look stronger because of what happened.
Why did they end up, and I only caught snippets of Dynamite. I didn't get to watch all of it. Why did they do a no DQ match?
I missed that part too.
Okay.
Probably just to do the QT finish.
I guess, but I don't know. I feel like AEW, and we're going to see this here in just a second with the Final Breath match with Jungle Boy and Christian. I feel like they add stipulations for the sake of adding stipulations.
Yeah.
There's not a reason for it.
Yeah, well, I think for this one specifically, there's not a reason other than the QT finish.
I get the reasoning behind the Jungle Boy and the Christian one, but they did it last minute.
Yeah,
a lot of people did not know it was going to be a Final Breath match until they turned on the pay-per-view.
I didn't know it was until I turned on the pay-per-view. I was like, "Why is there a casket? Are we doing a casket match?" And then I was like, "Okay, it makes sense why we're doing this, but we could have built this in the story.
Just don't call it a no holds barred match. Just call it a Final Breath match or whatever it was. So I just don't. I'm not a fan of them just tacking on a stipulation just for the sake of doing it.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. I agree with that, but I don't know. It was just it seemed like a waste of a Joe loss for having Wardlow lose the next night.
I agree.
Or not the next night, but on Dynamite.
I totally agree. But with that final breath match, we see that Christian loses.
Yep.
Probably the last time we're going to see Christian in AEW.
I would say so.
I think it's a way to go out.
I would say so.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I was
go
shocked Luchasaurus didn't get involved, though, if that's the case.
That's true.
There may be a segment where he comes out and Luchasaurus just kills him.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Christian's gone.
Yeah.
Do you think he shows up Raw after Mania?
Yes. If his contract is truly up, because he made his debut 2 years ago at Revolution.
Oh, yeah, he came out. They did the contract thing. They did the signing thing.
So if he did a 2-year deal, it's up.
It's up, yep.
So...
yeah, there's a good... I mean, well, would there be like a 90-day no-compete clause?
Not if his contract runs out.
Sure, there wouldn't be.
His 90-day no-compete is if he got released.
That's right.
So his contract just runs straight out, because that's how Malachi got to AEW when he did.
They had him on the NXT deal where...
Exactly. It was a 30-day, and he was... They released him, but nobody knew it was on 30.
Nobody changed
I guess
his contract.
that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if your contract runs out, you're free to go wherever.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
I think I wouldn't be shocked if Christian didn't show up.
I think he might even show up at Mania. If that's the case, could do that.
Yeah, because I think they're going to have one more Edge and Christian run.
Yep.
For those tag titles.
Hope so.
And probably win it. Maybe. I don't want them to be the ones to beat the Usos.
Man, I'd love to see Edge and Christian.
Well, no, because they're not going to beat the Usos because Kevin and Sami are going to beat the Usos.
Oh, duh. That's true.
But Kevin and Sami versus Edge and Christian in Canada, which there's
for Edge's retirement.
There's a show in Toronto in
August, which is where Edge has already said he's retiring.
Yeah, so, yes, please
sign us up,
please,
and make Trish Stratus a special guest referee. Just saying,
and have Kevin and Sami turn heel at the end.
There you go. No, you can have Kevin and Sami turn heel before that, so that you get that heat because they can come out and talk.
I don't know if there would be heat on them.
That's true. All right, one more match. Jericho and Ricky Starks. Not a whole lot to say about this match, but one thing I will say, we did not get to address this last week. Jericho made a comment in an interview that he has zero interest in going back to WWE.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
With it, I just feel like it's going to be strange for him to finish his career outside of WWE.
I mean, I think no matter what happens, he's going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. So he's not ever done with WWE.
Right.
I'm fine if he never has one. I'm fine if he never has another run in WWE.
Yeah.
Because his final run was good. Because you had the Jericho and Kevin Owens story.
Yeah, his final run was fine. It just, I don't know. I feel like for the majority of Jericho fans, the AEW run is going to not leave a bad taste in their mouth, but it's not going to be as pleasant as it could be.
I think it just depends on how it ends.
That's true.
I think depending on how his career ends in AEW, will tell a lot. Because I think he's got like 3 or 4 more years left in him.
I don't know. Maybe.
Like, not doing a full schedule, but...
I love Jericho, but some of the stuff that they're doing recently is just... I'm not interested.
I'm ready for the Jericho Appreciation Society to
see, that's
split.
the problem. Is like I just don't know what they're gonna. I don't know.
Yeah,
they're not gonna give him the world title back. So like, how do you make Jericho?
I think Jericho will face MJF at some point for that title. I think you need to call that back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how you make him feel. Dare I say important again?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Jericho is always going to feel somewhat important because he's Jericho,
right?
I mean, Starks beating Jericho Revolution was a big deal, which is very interesting. I did not notice that there have been 3 Revolutions where Jericho wrestled, or 4. 3 or 4. And he's either...
it would be... First pay-per-view was 2019.
Yeah. Was that him, Moxley?
No. First pay-per-view, they didn't do a Revolution until 2020. So 3.
So 3. He either main evented or kicked off the show.
Interesting.
Because last year he kicked off the show with Eddie.
Right. And
the year before that he main evented with Moxley.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like Jericho's always important because he's Jericho.
Right.
But I don't think it would be very hard to build up the mystique of Jericho once again because he's Jericho.
Yeah, maybe. You may be right. All right. Hope you're digging what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andy York. My name is Chris Belcher. Welcome to the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast. If you're just now joining us, whether that's on the BodySlam.net YouTube channel, whether that's wherever you find your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, any of those places, or on SportsWire Radio, show some love to our partners. I know they would appreciate it. We would appreciate it as well. Give us a follow on social media at PBW Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on to the WWE this week. Couple things that we absolutely have to hit. But man, the announcement was made this week that the King and Queen of the Ring event is going to be the end of May for Saudi Arabia. Very interesting. It was also announced that Backlash is going to be in Puerto Rico the beginning of May. So that makes 3 pay-per-views in a row following WrestleMania that is not on the continental U.S. soil.
Which means you're going to have 4 pay-per-views back-to-back with fantastic crowds.
Yes, you are.
Fantastic crowds.
Because Money in the Bank, as we know, is going to be in the beginning of July. I don't see them doing a June pay-per-view because they're doing 2 May pay-per-views.
Right. What's also very interesting about the King and Queen of the Ring is that that day would be Roman Reigns' 1,000th day as champion. So that just adds a wrinkle into all of this.
You know he's going to be there.
Yeah.
He's got to be at the Saudi show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Roman and Sami. Or Roman and Cody. Face to face. On SmackDown.
Really good promo.
Very good promo. We see that happen. We see Cody ask for the cronies to leave. And then on Monday, we see Cody come out. And we see a backstage shot of him talking to Kevin. We see Cody coming to the aid of Sami at the end of the show. Why did he have to come to the aid of Sami at the end of the show? Because Jey Uso finally came back. Finally made his allegiance known.
Oh, man.
Dude. Can I just say, the pop at the Royal Rumble was insane. For Sami Zayn. The pop at Elimination Chamber for Sami Zayn
was insane.
The pop when Jey Uso hugged Sami Zayn was unreal.
It was massive. It was so loud. I was like, that was Rumble level loud. Like, that was loud.
And then the pop when he got the super kick.
Oh, man. There's just the audible gasps when he hit the super kick.
Was wild.
Triple H this. Was the logo up?
No.
He should put the logo up.
He should have
put the logo up. He missed it.
He did. He missed his opportunity. You're right.
Because I thought we were running this out for another week.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I thought we were doing that, at least until SmackDown. I thought we were.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were for sure going to SmackDown.
We're going to SmackDown, but that's the perfect time to do it, is when everybody thinks we got a little more time.
Yep.
Hope. Jay super kicked him, told him this was family, you know what? Rolled him back in the ring, and they just took turns beating the crap out of him until Cody came out.
So the interesting thing with all of this is now, did Jay do this to realign with his family? Did he do this just to save his brother? Are the cracks in the armor fixed? Are they still there?
I'll bring up a really interesting thing.
Okay.
If you go back and watch, when Jay hugged Sami, he said something to him in his ear.
Yep.
And if you look at Sami's face, it looked like, I can't really describe the look, but it looked like he told him something, like a plan or something.
Yep.
And then he eats the super kick.
Sami, like, he had the look on Sami's face was very like
confused.
I don't know what to do with what you just told me.
Yeah. Which means there's a chance that Jay did not actually realign with the bloodline.
Right.
That he did this. We go to the WrestleMania match. Could you imagine if Jay dropped Jimmy with a super kick? And Kevin and Sami win. And then Cody beats Roman. And then at the Saudi show, we could have, and even later, Jay and Roman.
Yeah.
To end the bloodline story that's been going on since 2020.
Man. I don't know. Like, it's so funny that we sit here and we're talking about this storyline, and we've been talking about this for a long time now.
Yeah.
That we still
have no idea what's happening.
Still have no idea what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Still don't know.
No, which I keep it that way.
Yep.
Like, keep it that way. I'm fine if we stretch this thing out. Next year's WrestleMania, one of the main events is Jey versus Roman. Like, I feel like that could happen. I feel like Jey and Roman could be WrestleMania main event worthy.
They could. Are you saying
for storyline wise? WrestleMania 40.
I was gonna say, are you saying for the title? And
no, not for the title.
That?
Not for the title. Just for the bloodline.
Okay, just for the bloodline. All right.
Make it a triple threat and throw The Rock in there.
Hey now. I have a question, but I'm going to save it for next week because we're going to move on. It'll be a good time. Speaking of WrestleMania, basically 4 more matches for WrestleMania confirmed this week. You heard it in my pipe bomb earlier. Edge and Balor basically is confirmed. Yep. Well, they didn't say for sure,
but it is basically.
We're going to find out next Monday that it's for sure.
Probably inside Hell in a Cell too. Please,
because I've never seen one of those matches live. Please. Seth and Logan Paul, we talked about it last week. Confirmed.
Yep.
Trish, Lita, Becky versus Damage Control. Confirmed.
Yep.
Still rumors floating around that Lita and Becky could pull double duty and wrestle Ronda and Shayna. If it happens, fine. But the big one, confirmed. In ring, John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States title.
Yeah.
On social media, John alluded to this. It's probably going to be his last. You want to talk about pops.
Yeah.
When that man came out, oh my gosh.
It moved him to tears. Like,
it was insane.
He was emotional when he came out because the pop was so loud.
It was insane.
And then he literally cut the most vicious promo I've heard in a long time.
It was great.
Like, it was prime Cena. Cena reminded everybody that he's one of the best of all time on the mics.
Yes, he is.
Like there's not a lot of people, even like, especially right now too, because they're doing that on A&E. They're doing the rivalries thing, which I don't know if you've seen between him and The Rock.
Yeah,
they talk about the promos on the wrist, and like Rock was legitimately ticked off about it.
Yeah,
and like Cena didn't care.
Yeah,
Cena does not care. Like, what are they going to do? Fire John Cena? They're not going to fire him.
Right.
I feel bad for Theory. Like, I really feel bad for he got buried in this promo.
He did.
Which I don't know if I like or don't like.
Yeah, because on one hand, you want him buried for storyline purposes so that when he rises from the ashes, it feels a lot bigger. But at the same time, when he rises from the ashes, people are going to be like, well, this sucks. Yeah. Like, who cares?
It gave me flashbacks to Roman Cena. Not this past summer.
But the one before.
But the one before heading into like No Mercy.
Yep.
Because Cena embarrassed Roman.
Yes, he did.
Like, embarrassed Roman. Even after
I'm only here because you can't do your job.
Is one of the most remembered. And then when Roman got stumbled over his words, it's called a promo, kid. You got to be good at him if you want to be at the top. Like, he just embarrassed him.
Yep. Did the same thing to Theory.
Did the same thing to Theory, which is why I don't think Theory wins at WrestleMania.
Ooh, hot take.
I don't think Theory wins at WrestleMania. I think Cena beats Theory. Because I think they might be done with the Theory. I don't think they would have let Cena go out there and do what he did to that level if they're not done with this Theory. Because it doesn't. Cena was right in the promo.
Wait. You're done with Theory and how?
With this version of Theory.
Already?
It's not working.
How is it not working, though?
That's why I'm like, to them, it may not be working. Because I don't think they let Cena go out there and cut that kind of promo. Because he literally said in the promo, if I beat you, you're done. If you beat me,
you're done.
You're done. Like, you have nothing left.
Yeah.
So I don't see it. Like, I don't see Theory beating Cena right now.
Interesting. I don't know.
Because I don't think Cena's done. Like, I don't think he's done.
Right. I think you're right. Oh, man, I don't know. That's tough because I don't think they're done with Theory. Like, I don't think this is not working, but I do agree that this promo it's pretty rough.
It was rough to get through for
It's going to be hard. I'm not saying it's going to be hard for him to come back from it because he's going to come back from it. We're going to have the match,
right?
I don't know.
when he said I would rather have a bald spot than them piping crowd noises because nobody cares about my matches. That was rough.
That was rough.
That was like that one was the one that I think did Theory in, because Theory got the nice little cheap shot about the bald spot, but Cena like
embraced it. Right.
no sold it
for sure,
and then came back with that. So I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of damage on Theory.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a lot of intrigue on Theory. I think what Cena said about Theory and nobody caring might be from the company.
Maybe. I don't know.
And I think we might be done with Theory.
I don't know. We will have to see. Couple quick hitters here real quick. I'm about to throw you up a lob that I know you're going to just eat alive, but
Thank you.
I'm going to ask it anyway. Could you imagine? Mm-hmm. We're heading into a situation right now. WrestleMania is rolling around, and we talked about Becky Lynch and Lita potentially pulling double duty. Did you think there would ever be a time when Ronda Rousey came into the company? She's wrestling full time. Yep. This is not just Ronda as an attraction. Ronda is literally on SmackDown every single week.
Right.
And she doesn't have a WrestleMania match.
I love it. I'm fine with it. I didn't know. I never would have thought that. I never would have thought, though, because when she first came in, like, she was killing it, was doing really good. I don't think anybody wants to see her at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know of a match, even the Becky Lita one. I don't know anybody who wants to see that.
I don't either.
Like, maybe Shayna Ronda, like, they go at it, but even then, like, we know Ronda's going to win, so I don't want to put Shayna in that situation in that spot.
It's a filler match at that point,
right?
Did you ever? Okay, there's a rephrase. Did you ever think Ronda Rousey would be in a filler match at WrestleMania?
No, I never would have thought that.
How insane is that?
It's crazy. It's crazy that even she might be in the Battle Royal
if they have one.
Yeah, she might win the Battle Royal that they might do.
They didn't do it women's last year.
And they did the men's on SmackDown because Madcap won it.
Right.
I don't know. Like I see no plans for Ronda at Mania right now.
You know who else I don't see plans for at WrestleMania right now? Pat McAfee. And
Probably not.
I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
No.
He'll be at the show.
But we need him in a match.
You never know what's going to happen at these shows, though.
That dude can go.
You never know what's going to happen at these shows.
I'm so disappointed we're not getting...
They could set something up night one for night two.
Well, yeah, I guess. They do need to do that, though. They haven't done that yet. Yep. Now that this seemingly is going to be 2 nights from here on out, I feel like they need to start doing that.
Like, if they did this WrestleMania 30, the main event would be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H, and then the winner moves on to night 2. That needs to happen at some point.
I agree.
Like that's a great storyline tactic.
I totally agree. Yep, they definitely need to utilize that. Speaking of Pat McAfee, we talked about wanting to see him in the ring against Corey Graves.
It might not be able to because he's getting sued.
Well, that's a good point too. That's true. I didn't think about that. But speaking of Corey Graves, by the way, I love this Chelsea and Carmella tandem.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Yes. Yep.
What I do not like, did you notice how quiet Corey was during Carmella's match this week?
Yeah, because a lot of people a lot of idiots online stirred up that he was talking too much about his wife.
And so he literally didn't talk anything about her.
Yeah.
At all. It was a direct shot at them.
Yeah.
But it was so dang annoying.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not Corey.
It makes no sense why people are mad. He's a heel whose wife is also a heel.
Why should they not talk about each other?
Yeah. It'd be like Miz hyping up Maurice.
Yeah.
Like, it's what they do.
It's so dumb. It stuck out to me, and I was like, he really is throwing shade at these online
idiots,
which is fine. I get that, but I just...
Plus, they may have told him to tune it down.
If the company was okay with him tanking a segment like that, then fine.
Right.
But it didn't look good for me. I think there's a better way to handle that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But one other interesting thing, again, I had this in my notes last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about it. And then we'll get ready to wrap up here. Santos Escobar is a babyface. Very interesting.
I think we've had 3 passing of the torch moments in the last month, 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have Bray Taker at WrestleMania? Yep. You had Ray giving the mask to Santos, which I think Santos being the next Rey Mysterio is great. Like I think that's fantastic. And then on this Raw, you had Cena and Cody. Like that was a passing of the torch moment. If I've ever seen a passing of the torch moment.
Santos
is a weird one though, because he's a great heel.
Mm-hmm. And where's Legato been?
Right.
Where's Zelina been?
Right. I like it though. Like I've
always been a fan of Santos, so I don't mind the character change. It's kind of out there.
It is, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he turns on Ray at some point.
Yeah.
Like, even, let's say Dom beats Ray at WrestleMania, which that match hasn't even been set up yet, but I'm sure it will be here.
I think tonight on SmackDown, I think that's where we get that.
Probably. One. Let's say Dom beats Ray and Santos helps him, and Ray and Santos are kind of a thing now. Or Dom and Santos are a thing now. Yeah,
I would like to see, even though Dom's doing great stuff with the Judgment Day, I could see him breaking off and going to Santos.
I don't think the Judgment Day lasts long after Mania.
According to Finn Balor, it's going to.
I don't see it though, because like if Rhea's champ and Finn's doing his own thing, and Damien doesn't even have a match at Mania, which sucks. I don't know. I feel like we've run our course. I think we're all sick and tired of this Edge feud. This thing is part of it though too. So I don't know. They might, but I would like to see Dom do something a little different.
It's amazing because Dom's been doing great work over the last little while.
He has.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Speaking of passing the torch, Cody and John Cena. I texted you this last night. I don't know if anybody caught this watching it on Raw, but Cody, when John Cena hugged him, whispered something in his ear, which was not audible. You can't hear it. But what you can hear is John Cena's response.
You can always hear Cena in the ring.
Yes, you can. And you can hear Cena's response. And Cena's response was, I can't promise you that. I don't know how many I have left in me.
Yep.
Which alludes to the fact that Cody Rhodes on national television asked John Cena to wrestle him at a WrestleMania, or asked him to wrestle him at some point.
Yeah.
How wild would that be?
I think it happens. Look, I don't see how it doesn't happen.
Okay. So let's continue the conversation we just had about Theory. Because I see your point.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. But the promo battle that we just saw with Theory,
yeah.
What do you think he's going to go out there and do to Cody Rhodes?
But the thing is, Cody can dish it back.
But
here's the thing. Here's the difference between those two. Is I think there's a level of respect more between Cena and Cody than there ever was between even Cena and Roman.
I can agree with that.
So I don't think it's going to be to that level.
I agree with that, but I also think that in order to get the best out of both of them, you got to go out and put your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
And if John is one of the best on the mic of all time, which we know he is, then he's got to go out there and duel Cody in promos.
Yeah.
We're going to get John Cena.
Yeah.
We're going to get this guy. I'm just afraid of burying Theory is one thing.
Right.
He buried Roman in 2017.
He did bury Roman.
And it took Roman 3.5 years in a global pandemic to get back.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if he does it to Cody?
I agree. But I will say Roman Reigns right now is also on that level of burying people in promos from time to time.
Yeah.
And he tried to do that to Cody on SmackDown, and Cody kind of bounced it back at him.
Yeah.
So I think Cody will be fine.
Yeah.
Doing that. Honestly, like, let's say Cody's champion going into WrestleMania next year. Cody versus Cena for the titles at Mania with Cena's career on the line.
That could be good.
WrestleMania 40, it's a big one. It's a 40 years celebration, even though it's only 39.
Sure.
And that's a way you could do it.
Yeah, you could
there, but
if John Cena is winding it down, which it seems
and it's
like
in Philadelphia, which is kind of close to Boston, so
kind of close, just another state. It's fine, whatever.
It's fine.
If John Cena is winding it down, which it seems like he is,
yep.
Can we please? And Edge is winding it down. Can we please see those guys go at it one more time? Yeah. Can we see SummerSlam, Edge and Cena, please?
I'm on board. You don't have to convince me. I think it'd be great.
Been begging for it. All right. that's going to do it, man, for this episode of the Pipe Bomb Wrestling Podcast. Appreciate everybody joining us. Make sure you're following us at PBW Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you are following us each individually. Our social media handles are right down below. And make sure you are subscribed wherever you find your podcast and on the BodySlam.net YouTube channel. And anything else?
We are quickly on the road to WrestleMania, and I'm loving every second of it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what twists and turns we take over the next couple of weeks.
With the Triple H regime in charge,
You never know.
we're going to get twists and turns.
You never know what's going to happen.
I can't wait for the first time they use the N logo because they haven't used it yet.
Oh, I know.
But they should.
Yeah. When Ciampa returns at Mania and turns on Johnny, it's going to...
We didn't even talk about that. Johnny Gargano, Grayson Waller. What a
Johnny's
segment.
been on Raw.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
So good. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you guys down the road.